And the thing is like cool if it's not, of course it's not Natalie because it's Baddies, but like, why are you dressed like that? And since when do you wear that type of jewelry?
First of all, it's because they're promoting for Africa.
Yeah,
and I get it, but also it felt so wrong. I'm sorry. It felt so fucking wrong. It felt like she shouldn't be in it. I felt like I was watching a white woman in the attire.
That's like how the fucking Mexicans and the Latinos felt when Kendall when she dressed up and looked Mexican when she was selling her tequila or something, or the Pepsi.
Wait, didn't she wear a sombrero on her head?
It was weird.
What
yeah,
did
she was like culturally appropriating Mexican.
This the kind of beat that go, this the kind of beat that go, this the kind of beat that go, rock, top, top.
Welcome back to another episode of the Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is my lovely co-host,
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again on another motherfucking video. We are here with the gray-haired, silver-haired mommy. And
okay.
Always got to change her hair up like every 2 weeks.
Okay. We're here with the white fluffy cardigan dress. Sweater mommy.
Nothing. We're here with nothing. Nothing on me looks new.
We're matching though.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
it's type cute. It's like a winter Christmas, snowy, whatever, white Christmas.
For sure. And that definitely describes what it's been. Okay, on the East Coast, it's been freaking cold and it's only gonna get colder, single digits. So make sure you got your water running because your pipes is gonna freeze, okay? Yeah, so that's that. But speaking of weather, and in 2025 we also have some crazy weather on the West Coast.
Right. Those fires are crazy, out of control, super tragic, super sad. Like my heart and my prayers, our hearts and our prayers go out to everyone that lost their homes, that are homeless, some people that may have passed away in those fires. That whole thing is just so sad to see.
Yeah, there was a story of a guy who had stayed with his son because his son can't move, or some he had like a medical issue.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and they both passed away and stuff like that. So there's a lot of sad things happening on the other side of the country. Yeah. So our hearts do go out to everybody on the West Coast that has been affected by it. Right. We're going to cover it because there's been a lot of, just crazy things that have come out since then, right? Like,
I'm good now.
Okay. There's been a lot of just shit that's come out. A lot of people think that these fires were started on purpose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories. And, I do want to say, though, that it's important when you're listening to these conspiracy theories to just acknowledge that these are real life situations. So sounds cool to have to be that online detective thing where you're like, this is definitely what it was.
Right.
But at the end of the day, people's lives are really affected by this shit.
Right.
So we should always be considerate to that. But yeah.
I mean, I guess I want to touch on that now that you say that. I mean, although I do agree that, yes, sometimes we got to just chill on the conspiracy theories, I still feel like both can be a thing. Yes, people were really affected by this. This is really happening. But also, you can say that this maybe was something started for something else, because not long after that, all of a sudden they introduced Smart LA.
Well, they've been introduced Smart LA, and that was proposed in 2017.
Right, but then why is it coming up again?
Because people are conspiring that the reason why the houses were burned down was because they needed to create land. They needed land, and what better way to gain that much land to, I guess in the conspiracy itself, it's to develop this Smart LA,
right?
Than to have these people's houses burned down and in disguise of natural disaster. But at the end of the day, right? It sounds possible with anything in life. It's possible.
Right.
It's just a matter of probable, right? What are the probability of it happening? Yeah, that could be true, but I feel like they also couldn't have predicted the winds, right?
Right.
Mother Nature is Mother Nature, and sometimes it's so powerful that we just can't fathom the fact that Mother Nature can be that destructive.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, man created 100-mile-per-hour winds. It just feel like it was a perfect storm. Could it have been started just to be a fire, but not, maybe they didn't predict how much damage it could have caused, or, the winds and stuff like that, which made it worse.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it just could have been like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Just things like a lot of neglect in the state. Like California has had a lot of these people, a lot of these rich people, what they do is that they get away with it, right? Until they can't, until something tragic happens. For example, OSHA 30 became a thing because of the fire that had caused a lot of people to die.
Yep.
In a factory, right? And then they pushed for OSHA 30, where now it's work safety and all this other stuff.
Because they do not give a fuck.
Exactly. They don't until it's a thing. So like even in Miami, what happened in Miami with the condos when that building collapsed, they weren't enforcing what happens with the HOA fee money until the building collapsed, and now now they want to push for all these buildings to get updated, but it takes a tragedy, unfortunately, and a lot of neglect for there to be attention. And so anyways, I want to say though, the reason why we're covering this, I feel like it was a little ironic. I mean, we don't normally talk about this stuff, but we normally cover Hollywood, and a lot of Hollywood was affected by these fires, which is quite interesting and just ironic how we ended up here. And also we know people in the West Coast, and we see our content creators that we always follow on the West Coast. So it's just like, figured out, right, it's a little appropriate to talk about. But anyways, going back to what I was saying before, all these things happen, and I feel like sometimes we forget that Mother Nature can be that powerful. But also people can't explain why the water was...
Exactly. Why was there no water in the fire?
The water flow. And this is why I say a lot of neglect, right?
Yeah.
A lot of neglect.
But also, I feel like with LA and California specifically, like they are prone to like have these like issues. So you would think that if you're used to these issues, you would prepare for it. So how does one go, so long with not preparing for these issues, especially when they're not, it happens often. Like these issues occur often over there.
Well, it goes the same where people buy houses in Florida without having the house on a second level.
Yeah, but that's...
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you buy a house if you know that this is a hurricane flood zone, and then you still buy a house that's on the first floor instead of building it up, right? And I just feel like people just don't, I don't know. It's, again, neglect, right? When you get away with it for so long.
Yeah, I guess so. But then at that point, I guess that's on the person purchasing the house and not so much like the state itself.
See, and that's my problem, right? Because it's
even though it is the state,
it's the state.
They built it like that, knowing that they're in a flood zone.
Well, no, I feel like it should be a regulation.
Right.
So if you want to be, unfortunately, a lot of these places now, the insurance, they had dropped them prior to this. Which is the part,
I guess, that for me is a little tricky.
Suspicious.
Is a little suspicious, and also just tricky about the whole thing is that how is it that, what was it, weeks before this whole thing happens, all of a sudden people are getting dropped from their insurance? Was it their home insurance?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a little skeptical. Like, it's not far-fetched considering the stuff that we have seen so far in the media and seeing so much things come to light. It's not far-fetched that something like this would be planned. Yes, they couldn't account for the winds, but how is it that you have fires being started randomly in 5 different parts of California, and it just the way that fires start, they don't really start like that. If it starts in one area, it will spread, but will stay in the area that it spreads to, within vicinity in the zone. But this was in 5 different parts on the map. Like, that is weird.
Yeah, and then, people were arrested for arson. I think there's like a 20 count now or something like that. But, yes, people take advantage of chaos.
Right.
The same way during, when the BLM movement, right? When they were looting, there was a lot of people who were taking advantage of the looters doing the crime. So they just wanted to hop on just to gain.
But then people also, speculated that whole thing was pushed by the media to start a race war for political gain. So it just feels like
right, but that's the media narrative here. But this is not media narrative.
I don't think that was the media narrative. I think that was the conspiracy narrative when it came to the different parties. I feel like there was a lot of people saying that
political party,
right?
Okay.
When it came to the media pushing the whole, especially with the death of Eric Garner, I just felt like the way that happened. Obviously, the community is getting tired of seeing these things, but to basically just go on how the media handled it, then we had BLM movement, which garnered a lot of money that didn't go to the family, that didn't, you know what I'm saying, didn't go to the community. It just feels like
that's what I'm saying. So there's just people that are always gonna jump on the chaos and capitalize on it.
Exactly,
right? And that goes back to everything in life. That's just what you have to separate the noise, because if you don't, then you can, some people are evil, right? They take advantage of chaos. But that's
what I'm saying. And that's how they're able to push their own agendas, or maybe get a profit or something for their own agendas. It's just, you just never know, like in those situations.
So what I was saying is, yes, I agree that there have been people that contributed to the fire. Mm-hmm. They contributed to it. But as far as it being a thing, like started specifically for Smart LA, it sounds a little... To me, it's possible, but it just seems a little bit of a reach, because, Smart LA, again, was proposed in 2017. It's not new. It's not something people are just finding out because they want to connect the dots. And I feel like, there's been many fires. Mm-hmm. Same way there's been many hurricanes in Florida. Mm-hmm. There's just some devastating ones.
Well, I guess some people argue that too, because, sure, it was introduced in 2017, but let's say people weren't moving or weren't leaving their homes or didn't want to sell their homes. Like, you always have those situations where people just don't want to go. So like, then what now?
Well, that could also be argued, because during COVID, a lot of people were moving, from LA, but they were also like, there's a lot of migration going on. So it's not like there hasn't been a moment of, from 2019 to now, there has been a big jump in prices of houses. And there's a reason for that, because the demand is there. Yeah. So, I mean, there could have been many moments that these people could have came in and bought everything during the hype when the interest rate was cheap. And you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like there's so many things that it's not as black and white as people want it to be. Because I feel like the same thing happened in Hawaii, right?
Right.
And they also theorized that it was started on purpose because, they want the land, which maybe, I'm not saying that it can't be, mm-hmm. right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I feel like we as humans sometimes, when something tragic happens, we want answers.
We want someone to blame.
We want answers. And, it's so easy to just blame somebody. Yeah. Blame, neglect, blame the Democratic Party, blame the Republican. It just gets political. There's so many people you can blame. That's why they're coming for the mayor. That's why they're going for the governor. But that's just us as humans being and like experiencing something tragic. The same way for New Yorkers in 9/11, right? We had someone to blame. And again, there's a conspiracy behind that. And I'm not saying that the government is fucking nice and that it can't be true, because it can. I just feel like, again, we need to be aware of what could be conspiracy and what could not. What is, we have to be aware that sometimes these things can't just happen. Because a lot of people also said, oh, Diddy started the fire. Okay.
Okay, well, obviously Diddy, that's extra. Like, he started the fire to delete his evidence. Like, okay, relax. All right. You're pushing it.
Maybe there's some people take advantage of the fire, maybe pushed a little bit of evidence.
Right. Maybe.
It's possible.
Anything can happen in that scenario.
Is it probable? You know what I'm saying? Like, and this goes back to anything in life, in physics, they teach you anything in life is possible. The real question is it probable, right? So that's actually quantum physics that they say that. So just a little knowledge for you guys.
Yeah. Well, Diddy did not start the fire, right? I think that's a bit of a reach. But, just like everything, I hear what you're saying, but, there's a little side of me that's like, you guys are always calling the conspiracy theorists crazy. And then 10 to 15 years later, the truth comes out. The truth will always come to light. And like I said, we are not, we're used to seeing the government do some crazy things just to push their own narrative or push their own agenda mm-hmm. or benefit from something that they want to benefit from, or, maybe their political party benefit from something, or to get a certain votes from a certain demographic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they will literally push certain things in the media to get that type of gain, whether it's monetary or commercial or whatever the case is, even marketing. Like, I feel like all of these things play a role in how people are used every single day by the government. And, it's just not far-fetched.
No, it's not. And I think it's a healthy exercise to always think outside the box and to always be open-minded to different possibilities. So I'm not knocking those theories down. I just feel like sometimes people get a little too carried away with the conspiracy theories.
When they're like real people at stake here.
Right, exactly. There's like real consequences to these things. And it's sad. It's sad because a lot of people, even on the East Coast, are going to feel the effects of the things that have happened, these last couple of months, not only in LA, but in Florida with the hurricanes. So
yeah. But I guess one thing that caught my attention is, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris said that they were going to give 100% of donations and support to California when it comes to the LA fires. That's great and all, but like, aren't we in debt? Like, I thought we didn't have any money. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, did they even do this for Florida with the hurricanes?
No. And you know what it is? And
it just makes me wonder what else is at play here that we are not seeing if you are so quick to 100% support California, but then not Florida.
Well, the thing is about that is that I feel like a lot of people, when they say these things, they only look at the account that they follow that posted the post. And what I've noticed is that these accounts, a lot of them push a red narrative. And they're always in favor of the red side. So I feel like it's also important to be aware of the media's agenda with that. He did say that they were going to give 100%. People were also pissed off that, he said that they were going to give $770 now. And then people were like, oh, just $770. That's what they're doing now as an emergency. And obviously, but, I don't know much, and we're not really here to talk about, I guess, like what the government is going to do, because at the end of the day, to be honest with you, Biden can say everything he wants, but
yeah, that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
On Monday, we're going to have a new president, and it's Trump. And so, like, he could easily say no, and he doesn't like the Democrats that are in LA, running LA. So he could be petty and, not help the people just to be who he is. And so again, we don't know. And I feel like, reading something online, because I did see a lot of those comments, and reading something online is not enough research to have a thorough opinion
for sure
on that. So I feel like, but yes, I did see that there was a different announcement for the people of LA as opposed to the people of Florida. And it makes you wonder why, right? Because a different class was affected. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't hear this much about helping people in Florida, even though they just had as much devastation. Maybe not the magnitude to what LA experienced, but it is interesting and it makes you wonder, right? But at the end of the day, here's the reality. The reality is the people who make the most money will always, even if Biden said it, Trump said it, no matter who's in government, they're always going to be helped first because of their connections and who they know. And that's that's just what it is. And that's why you live in America, for capitalism. And if you want that type of benefit, you got to try to achieve that. Because if not, you are middle class. And unfortunately, this is why you have to be smart with your finances and have a safe net of income, or you know what I mean? Because that's no one's gonna help you,
right?
Unfortunately, no one's gonna help you, and that's just the unfortunate truth. People don't like to think like that, but that is the truth.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, y'all.
It's pill you gotta swallow. Not everyone was built like born in a fucking with a silver spoon.
Right, exactly. But I guess for me, which is really crazy, Inauguration Day is coming up, like you said. Why the fuck is it on Martin Luther King Day?
Whoa. Yo.
Why the fuck it is? You know what? Listen, I get that, you know, certain dates and, you know, events sometimes fall on certain days. You know, that's just how it works, right? And, you know, different times.
Mr. King gonna be tight.
But it's just really crazy that in 2025, when Trump gets inaugurated, it's on Martin Luther King Day. Like, how petty is that? That is fucking crazy.
That's a foreshadow of what 2025 is going to be like.
It really is like a foreshadow. Like, I'm like, is this going to come back full circle and really like bite us in the eye? Like, what you want to do? Like, why is Inauguration Day on MLK Day?
Yeah, these are the questions we must ask.
But you know what? Enough politicking talk, y'all. We want to also talk about the announcement of Baddies Africa.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Okay, yeah. So let's transition into that, right?
Right. More international shit.
Yeah, just we're getting bigger. We're leaving the country now.
Right, we're leaving the country, it seems like.
Yeah, so we were online today and Natalie and Lemmy had posted a trailer. I'm like, what the fuck? A trailer.
Yeah.
I thought it was Baddies Gone Wild.
Yeah, I thought so too. Because we were seeing all these new people and all these girls that got picked.
Yeah, and they were like showing the cast. So I'm thinking, oh shit. And then I'm looking and I see these African girls coming out, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? Then I read the caption, because of course we're fucking built like that. I need to know now. So I look at the caption, it says Baddie Season 7. I'm like, Baddie Season 7?
Right.
And then I see it's in Africa.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I just feel like I did not know how to feel. I was a little conflicted. And because it's like, that's awesome, I guess, that you're in Africa. And listen, Africa does not get enough shine. So I can see that part, because I always say, hey, you know, attention is, no matter what type of attention, it's attention. But I feel like, damn, like, Africa already don't be getting the shine that it gets, at least here in America. So, but then not only, you're just going to show them in that type of light, you know what I mean?
Well, you see, here's the thing. I feel conflicted too, because it's like, damn, you about to act up in the motherland, bro? Like, like Baddies already gets like that negative light and rep. So now you're about to go to Africa and like bring that same type of negative rep and light. But then also another part of me is like, oh, okay, well, at least they're black folks going to the motherland, right? Because black folks never want to go back to the motherland.
Yeah, but Natalie, not.
Okay, before I get there, then on top of that, it's like maybe they will showcase some nice parts of Africa that, you know, people have not seen before, which is great. Well, I saw the flags on the car. It looks like they will be in South Africa. I don't know where, but the flags were the South Africa flag. So I don't know. But it's interesting, but it's also just like, yeah, when I saw Natalie get out the car, oh my gosh, it felt so wrong to see her in that African attire, bitch. Like, it felt like she was appropriating.
Yeah, you looked away. You're like, yo.
I was so uncomfortable. And it's crazy because I'm like, why did it feel so wrong to see her in that?
Yeah, you didn't know what it was at first. You just
I thought it was going to be somebody else. I thought we were,
Me too.
maybe maybe they will collab with certain like African celebrities too, like in this season. Maybe they will have an African celebrity guest, or, you know, have some special appearances and stuff. But seeing it was her in that shit out the car was like.
And the thing is like, cool if it's not, of course it's not Natalie because it's Baddies, but like, why are you dressed like that? And since when do you wear that type of jewelry?
First of all, it's because they're promoting for Africa.
Yeah,
and I get it, but also it felt so wrong. I'm sorry. It felt so fucking wrong. It felt like she shouldn't be in it. I felt like I was watching a white woman in the attire.
That's like how the fucking Mexicans and the Latinos felt when Kendall when she dressed up and looked Mexican when she was selling her tequila or some the Pepsi.
Wait, didn't she wear a sombrero on her head?
It was weird. Yeah, she was like culturally appropriating Mexican. It's like, bitch,
it was just awkward. Like, what the fuck is it?
Just be you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even seeing like Natalie come out in that shit was so awkward. I was like, this feels wrong. And I get it, you're also mixed with Black, but I don't know why the fuck this feels so wrong right now. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel natural. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I know a lot of people felt the same way in the comments.
There were some people hyping it up though, like, let's go, Africa, yeah, international, Zeus going up.
You know what? And this is what I said to you before. I feel like they're deleting comments because the original post that we were looking at was on Lemmy's account, but then I went to the T page. Mm-hmm. It was a T page account, and then you saw the real comments, and a lot of them were very negative.
Yeah,
they were like, to be honest, I don't like this. Somebody said there's too much ignorance. Even this ad is offensive. And like, it goes back to, again, I guess, like, it feels like it's appropriating the culture a little bit. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm curious.
Because also I feel like there's just certain people too that care about how they're represented, like, in front of their families. Like, they care about that representation. So maybe they won't go on there and act the fool. I don't know. But I know that at the end of the day, Baddies is going up. Whether you like it or not, people from all over clearly watch and know Baddies. Like, even when we went to Puerto Rico and like one of the fucking locals there knew Baddies.
Oh, yes.
And we were like shocked about that.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, somebody had wrote in the comments, oh, y'all have a lot of shit to talk, but then if they announced that it was in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, y'all would have hyped it up. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, they already went there when they did Caribbean.
Well, that's also what somebody else said. Somebody said, well, they're probably going to do what they did in Baddies Caribbean, where they literally had nobody that was from the Caribbean.
I honestly would be very disappointed if they did something like that, because you in the motherland is... You in the motherland, bro. You learned your lesson with Caribbean, because obviously people were upset.
Yeah, it was a terrible season.
Because we thought the same thing. It was gonna be great. That we thought it was gonna be up. Mm-hmm. But seeing that kind of like bombed a little bit, because I really didn't enjoy Baddies Caribbean season at all. Yeah. At all. So now that we're going on to Baddies Africa, are you gonna make the same mistakes? Are you gonna learn from those mistakes? Like what's gonna happen here? Are you actually gonna have Africans on the show or what? Are you just gonna have like what?
Someone said that they hope they don't see Gretchen or Mariah Lynn on this season, yo. These Africans aren't gonna tolerate the N-word.
I honestly hope I don't see Mariah Lynn or Gretch coming to Africa. Like, I'm sorry, y'all gotta stay y'all ass back in the States.
Please.
Like, this is ridiculous. But I honestly don't know. It seems like everyone is like hyped, of course, that's on the team. All the comments, the Siki commenting fire emoji, all of them commenting all these emojis. Because they get to go.
Yeah.
So if they're coming back, which they are, they get to go. So, I mean, I have no idea. I don't really know how to feel about it. I really do feel conflicted, because it's like, are you going to do Africa justice, or are you going to make Africa look crazy? Or are you going to make Africa look crazy, but then also do Africa justice at the same time? Or are you going to do that dumb shit you try to do in DR and throw out money to the crowd? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, what are you guys really on? Like, I just never know with them. And seeing that Caribbean just bombed completely, I just don't know how to even, I don't know what to expect with Africa. I don't know how to move about it. I don't know anything. I guess we'll see when more stuff come out, but
yeah, it's also kind of weird that it's only episode 13 and we're already getting a trailer for Baddies season 7. Like Diamond hasn't even left yet. Diamond the Body leaves literally mid-season and she still has not left yet. That goes to show you that there's still a lot more to go. Why the fuck do we have a trailer for the next season already?
Like, they working hard. They gotta make their money.
They're riding it to the end. They're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off is what it's looking like. It's a train wreck. And this is what I tell Tiana. I'm like, bro, something bad has to really happen before we just talked about this. Wow, it comes around full circle. Something really bad is gonna happen because they're riding this fast life so fast. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of neglect and a lot of things that, just don't get checked.
Don't be getting fed,
but I think it's deeper than that.
It's obviously deeper than that, but I'm saying, that's just telling.
No, so I feel like, they just gonna ride it till something bad happens. Then all of a sudden, Zeus gonna stop. Like, they're gonna stop with Baddies completely. And that's just what it's gonna be. Because the fact that he's doing that now, you can tell he want to make sure that season comes out right when this season ends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing they did before with Baddies Caribbean and Baddies.
And then Baddies Gone Wild. Like, that's a whole other thing. I don't even know if they started filming yet for that.
Yeah, I don't know. They just mentioned the cast. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited to see Baddies Africa? Are we being too hard? Because I know, like I said, like I can see how like it's really cool to go back to the motherland, shine light on the people. Like that to me is dope and should be done more often. And you know, it's a Black platform, so
why not?
Why not? Like who else to do it?
Right.
But you know, again, it's not like it's a fucking Christian fucking network, you know what I mean? So what are your thoughts? I want to know what you guys think. I think it's an interesting conversation, and I think every opinion matters on this, because I would like to develop like just like a insight on the community and how it would feel. How do y'all feel for real?
No, for real.
It is interesting, you know?
Yeah, so another thing that I wanted to add was, you know, they started showing the girls for Baddies Gone Wild, and one of the clips that I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this, but one of the girls, her name is Cupcake. She appears to be a white woman. I don't know if she's white or not, could be wrong, but she is white passing looking. And she, I guess, got Natalie sign her tits. And then she literally, right after Natalie signed her tits, went to go get that shit tatted and came back and showed her. First of all, her tattoo looked disgusting and infected, bitch.
It did look infected.
It looked infected. And then people were like, Smiley part 2, we're getting another Smiley. And I'm just like, I don't know if we can ever get another Smiley. But it seems interesting. Clearly, things are already starting off. These girls are popping their shit online. I saw some of the pics. This one girl seems like she's also going to be like Mariah part 2. I don't know. The pics do seem interesting. I'm excited to see what's in store for Baddies Gone Wild. I don't really know. And then that's going to be shot in Brazil. So it's like, you know, all of these international places, it's a little like, why? What's the reason?
Yeah.
And then all these girls are like younger, like, you know, it's just a little.
You know how I feel about Brazil, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
Yeah. And you know, I'll be honest with you. I am open-minded 100%. Like I will be trying to check it out. But in my opinion, like, I don't know how I feel. Again, it depends on the show. Right. It really truly depends on the show. But y'all gotta understand, I'm a grown-ass woman. I am 31 years old. I don't want to see 20-year-olds, or you have to be 18 and older, between a certain age. It's like 18 and 25 to be on the show.
Yeah, you're definitely younger.
I don't want to see little girls fucking doing stupid shit. Like, to me, it's like, you know, and again, it just depends on the content. He said it's different.
To be fair, Bad Girls Club, they were all young and immature. We all watched them doing stupid
But we
shit.
were also young and immature.
Yeah, but
it's
you
different.
Still see younger. Like, how old was Anna when she came on the shit? Like 22. Like, you know, she was doing young and stupid shit. And we're like of age, so watching young and stupid shit.
And that's fine, right? But I feel like I'm getting to age now. Especially now that I've long turned 30. I am 31 now.
All right.
It feels different. So again, it depends. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying if I see a bunch of young girls and, like, I don't know, being a little bit like, I don't know.
A little bit like what? Say it. You can say whatever you want here. Say it.
Why you said it like that?
Because this is the headquarters. This is where we really talk our shit. We can say whatever we want. So
I just feel like it's different when you see the twins. What are they called that were in Baddies Caribbean?
Claremont twins?
The Claremont twins going naked, rubbing their titties together, as opposed to like 18-year-olds doing that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to see that shit. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't want to see topless 18-year-olds, you know, shit like that. Like, that's just not my vibe. You know, that's all and you're in Brazil. So, I mean, I don't know. So that's, you know, how can I not think like that when you're in Brazil?
Think like what?
Think that it's going to be sexually exploitative.
Okay, yeah, because you weren't saying that. So I just wanted to get that out of there. So you think that the network is going to sexually exploit those young girls in Brazil?
I don't think anything. I'm just saying it depends on how the show is. Obviously, there's going to be a confessional room. We got that. I'm not saying, like, I'm just saying that that's where I draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It could be perfectly cool and it could be funny and it could be a good show. I don't know. I'm just saying there are boundaries that I'm setting now, that if I see some things that I don't like and these girls are young, I know that they're 18 and 25. I'm not the weirdos that like to watch little girls. Sorry.
How did we get here? Because I feel like when people like, especially young girls, they're watching these things, they're just like, oh, it's ratchet, it's funny, and it's fun. I like that. Like no one's thinking, oh, I want to watch little girls. I guess because I'm not thinking that way. So I don't know who else is watching because I've never encountered those people that watch for those things. People usually just watch because they like the ratchet entertainment.
No, because look at that movie from that French director that had actual little kids portray that movie that was. You don't remember that movie? It was supposed to portray child pornography or some shit like that, and we talked about it. It was a long time ago.
No.
Anyways, I'm not saying anybody's watching it like that. If you're fucking young, obviously that's your demographic. I'm just saying that's just not my demographic. I'm not Drake where I want to hang out with a bunch of young girls. Like that's just there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But anyways, it just depends. Like I said,
I know what you're saying, but I feel like when you're talking about it, you're not talking about it in the sense of, oh, just wanting to watch ratchet entertainment. You're talking about it in the sense of, well, I'm not watching this to look at young girls, but like who's watching Baddies to look at girls? That's my question.
I guess it just portrays my defense of what I think is going to happen.
Okay, that makes sense then.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, again, what I'm wary of, what my concerns are, why you're in Brazil, why, you know, this all goes again to, like, where I feel, like, personally is going on behind the scenes. And that could be it. You know what I mean? Some people stopped watching Krishan because of the same reason, because they knew behind the scenes, like, and in front of your face.
She was getting exploited, yeah.
Not even that, but she was hurting her child. It was child abuse right in your face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, it's like, and I get that because I stopped watching that show too because of that, because it was just disgusting at a certain point. And that's just the same thing, the same boundary I'm setting for this. Like, if I see something I don't like with already my guard up with how I feel, not going to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. Well, I mean, now that you guys have heard it here first from the Petty Headquarters, definitely tell us what you think about everything, about, you know, the LA fires, about Baddies Gone Wild, Baddies Africa. What are your thoughts on that? Like, are you excited to see those two upcoming shows? Yeah, comment. What are your thoughts on the girls? Everything. Did you agree with what we said? Did you disagree with what we said? Do you have your own thoughts, or is there something we missed? Feel free to let us know in the comments. Also, if you guys missed our live, we did go live watching Baddies episode 11 of Midwest. That was a time. So we will have it linked in the description below if you guys have not seen it. So definitely check that out to go watch our live. And we do plan to go live again.
Yeah, but by the time you guys see this,
it
will already have been done.
It would already been done, yeah.
Yeah, but we do want to make it every other Sunday. So it just stay tuned. You know, we'll be posting. Stay aware. Put your notifications on just so that you get notified when we do go online. It's a time.
It's fun. It is fun.
It's fun to interact with you guys.
Yeah. And also it's like you're intimate with us, because bitch, I'm gonna be in my robe and my bonnet. Like, I don't have time to come up here in no studio to look cute. No, you're gonna be in my humble abode. So yes, it'll be a tie. Okay. So, I mean, with that being said, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Randomania1. You guys can find us on Instagram
at the Petty Headquarters.
Wait.
Look like a deer in headlights. Like, you did. My cue to go.
You did. Yeah, so we release episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Y'all. We're also on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. We are there at the Petty Headquarters. On YouTube, the Petty Headquarters. It is very simple. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our podcast. Leave a review, rate, like, all of that good stuff. And yeah, with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess.